right?
Camera?
Yeah, it's camera. It looks sunny, but it's actually super cloudy right now. Huge difference from yesterday too. In terms of the heat, it's actually pretty normal spring weather right now. I read this today, which made me wonder, is the media actually actively looking for more stories on how the drone regulations upcoming here in Canada actually stops people potentially from using like the tech in a good way? This one says drones can be crucial for search and rescue teams, so why don't we use them more? Confusing regulations and high costs are keeping some Canadian search and rescue organizations from using drones, even though the devices are described as one of the greatest tools in a first responder's toolkit. In parts of the country, search and rescue drones use infrared cameras to spot people missing in the woods, map search areas, and keep ground crews from dangerous spots. One group of paramedics in Ontario even use them to quickly deliver life-saving defibrillators and medicine. But despite the benefits, regulatory questions and potential costs have kept some search and rescue groups in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, and Yellowknife from adopting the technology. And apparently what some of them say, it's a complicated issue because of safety issues and also because of licensing, so it's a very involved process. It's not as easy as going out and buying a drone and we're going to use it. There's a lot of factors to consider. This is kind of an interesting quote where it says, Vinod has also questions about liability and privacy while using drones, which have all played a part in the organization's decision not to use the machines. She's not the only one confused by what's required to get a search and rescue drone in the air, both under the current rules and under the new federal regulations that come in force next month, dictating who can operate one, where it can fly, and what it can carry. I guess Transport Canada sees it differently though. It says, quote, the new rules are way simpler than the existing rules, if I can put it that way, said Felix Manier, the director of a remotely piloted aircraft system task force with Transport Canada. If any first responders have any questions with respect to the interpretation of the rules, we're very happy to either meet with them or answer any questions they may have. While they do talk about things like the cost of the drone, like this one's saying you'd have to pay like $70,000 to get, I guess, a qualified drone to fly, it's kind of interesting to hear the other reason why they say a drone's better than the helicopter. In this example, they were saying how in a search and rescue situation, there were people who actually ran away from the helicopter. It says the helicopter actually scared the individual and drove him further into the woods. Had we had the drone, you know, it would have been a lot more quiet and he actually wouldn't have even known it was in the air. That's kind of interesting. Someone actually running away from the helicopter, wouldn't you want to be saved? You're lost? Or was the person trying to get away for whatever reason? And then quote, without a doubt, it is one of the greatest tools that I've seen in almost 30 years as a paramedic, says one guy. It makes me think that concern of privacy for the reason not to fly a drone for emergency reasons is all because of the negative news that people read about the drones. Because if you think about it, you wouldn't do that with a helicopter, would you? Say, nope, you can't fly that because of privacy issues. I know I literally read stories before where there were people on helicopters using high-powered cameras to, quote, spy on people, like peeping toms, and the person got punished for it. But again, that's on an individual, case-by-case basis. There just needs to be a more common sense approach as to how people use the tech. Otherwise, if you make the law ridiculous, I guess like that, people won't use it in a good way. It's kind of interesting how they say to them, hey, just come to us and we'll clarify what any of the wording and stuff means. Like even with the recreational people, it's so interpretive where it kind of relates with this privacy thing again. Because if someone really hates the tech and all that, they can just interpret it the way they want. For example, the no flying in advertised events, no flying drone near a drone is so generic where it pretty much bans like everything, even for the good use or people doing it for fun. Makes me think again in terms of recreational flying, people say, ah, who cares if it grounds everyone? Like in that case, it basically bleeds into like the professional aspect of it too, because like in this case, if people are still concerned about, quote, privacy as a reason to stop people from doing that, people need to be educated not to be afraid of this stuff.
你鴨仔就附近啦，有冇搞嘅？
啱啦，隻鴨公喺度睇字啊！
Holy cow. Gutsy little squirrel, man. Alright, see you guys later.